Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. How can you tell when someone is hiding the truth? Every conversation has subtle signs that only those who truly pay attention can recognize. And sometimes these signs are not just changes in words, but a clever strategy to hide something important. In a world filled with complex relationships, can you recognize when the truth is being distorted? Let's explore some of the clearest signs that people often overlook. Signals directly from body language and words that, if you're not careful, you might let slip by unnoticed. Stoic philosophy teaches us to be mindful in all our relationships. We should not only focus on what others say, but also carefully observe what they do not say. To truly understand human behavior, you must dive into the smallest details, the slightest shifts in their behavior, such as how they steer the conversation or avoid facing the truth. The truth doesn't always ring out in words. Sometimes it hides in the actions and emotions of the person in front of you. 1. Laughing off serious topics. When a conversation turns serious and deep, one of the easiest signs that someone is avoiding the truth is that they begin to laugh it off. They not only change their tone, but also use humor to put out any tension and steer everything back to their comfort zone. This is a common tactic to avoid facing the truth, a quick way to calm the situation without having to deal with the real issue. Stoic philosophy encourages us to face reality, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. In this regard, avoiding the truth with laughter only drives us further away from the ability to understand and solve the problem. People who use humor to dodge responsibility or avoid deep topics not only diminish the value of the conversation, but also create an invisible barrier in the relationship. Every important discussion requires seriousness, and if someone continuously deflects with jokes, it may be a sign that they don't want to confront their true feelings. This doesn't mean that we should be serious all the time, but in moments when seriousness is necessary, using humor to avoid it can be a trick to hide dishonesty or fear. If someone frequently uses laughter to dodge important issues in life, it's time to ask yourself, what do they really want from this relationship? Don't let yourself be deceived by loud laughter or witty remarks. Sometimes, a serious conversation can open up opportunities for deeper understanding, and that is the key to building genuine, trustworthy relationships. 2. Listen to understand, not to respond. We often think of listening as a simple skill, hearing others speak and then responding. However, few realize that true listening isn't about preparing a response. It's about understanding the other person. When you only listen to react, you're missing the chance to truly connect and empathize with the other person. In fact, this may cause you to overlook important signals they want to convey, which could lead the relationship to a deadlock. Stoic philosophy teaches that one of the most important aspects of personal development is the ability to listen with mindfulness. When you listen without judgment or preparing a response, you will find yourself becoming more aware and able to absorb the deep insights the other person is trying to share. Listening to understand not only helps you gain a proper perspective on the issue, but it also builds trust and respect in the relationship. When someone shares with you a difficult story or deep thoughts, instead of immediately responding with advice or personal opinions, take the time to truly listen to them. Silence can be a powerful tool to affirm that you are paying attention and respecting their feelings. Sometimes saying nothing is the best thing you can do. In relationships, one of the core elements that create a bond is the feeling of being understood and accepted. When you truly listen without worrying about an immediate response, you're not only providing space for the other person to feel comfortable, but also showing them respect. It's in these moments that you are truly connecting with their emotions and seeing the issue from their perspective, not your own. Only when we truly listen can we deeply understand what others are going through and offer them sincere help. 3. Overly polished details. When someone tells a story, if every detail is too perfect, too polished, you might be hearing a carefully crafted narrative rather than the truth. People who tend to add too many specific, sharp details are often trying to build an image that is too perfect about themselves. Everything in their story is exaggerated to the point of being unbelievable. And it is precisely in these details that the real truth is hidden. Stoic philosophy advises us not to get caught up in the perfect facades that others create. In reality, life never unfolds according to a perfect script like the stories being told. We learn that perfection is an illusion, and exaggerating details to create an impression is one of the ways many people use to build false trust. When someone begins to tell stories that are too smooth, with every detail carefully constructed, this isn't just a vivid narrative, it's a sign that they are trying to control how you perceive the situation. Overly polished details, meticulously described with no room for error, are often a sign of an untrue story. If you pay attention, you will notice that when you ask for more details, they tend to get flustered because they can't maintain a story that has been adjusted too much. A true story usually doesn't have overly perfect details. It has angles that can't be clearly explained, some ambiguity, and sometimes details that the storyteller can't recall exactly. A genuine story is one filled with real emotions, imperfections, and unpredictable details. 4. Quickly changing the subject. One of the clearest signs that someone is trying to hide the truth is when they frequently change the subject abruptly. You just asked an important question, a serious issue you want to discuss, but immediately they shift to a completely unrelated topic. This is not a coincidence, but a deliberate strategy to avoid confronting the real issue. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that facing the truth, no matter how difficult, is an important part of personal growth and maintaining healthy relationships. When someone changes the subject in a conversation, it is not by accident, but an act of avoidance. They do not want to face the question or topic that makes them uncomfortable. Instead of being direct, they quickly create an escape route, steering the conversation in another direction to protect themselves from having to give a truthful answer. A typical example could be when you try to discuss future plans with a family member or friend, but they start talking about something completely unrelated, like deciding what to eat for dinner or an unimportant event. This behavior might make you think they just want to avoid the conversation, but in reality, it's a clear sign they are not ready to face the real issue you are bringing up. From a Stoic perspective, avoidance is not resolution, but postponing facing reality. Honesty and courage in discussing important topics are necessary to build strong and trustworthy relationships. When someone constantly changes the subject, it is a sign they are not ready or willing to face the truth, and this can seriously impact the trust between parties. 5. Vagueness. When providing information. When you ask someone for detailed information, but they respond in a vague, unclear manner, it's a major sign of avoidance. Answers that are non-specific, vague, or just general responses are their way of evading the truth. They try to maintain distance from important questions by creating uncertainty, making it impossible for you to get a clear answer. Stoic philosophy advises us to approach every situation with transparency and clarity. When others use vagueness to avoid answering a question, they are creating a gray area where you can't be sure of the truth. Vagueness is not carelessness, but a way to avoid responsibility or hide something important. Imagine asking a friend about whether they've completed a shared task, and they respond, "Well, I'm working on it, but it's not done yet." This response lacks specificity and clarity. If you ask for more details, they continue to be vague, refusing to provide concrete information. This is not a coincidence or forgetfulness. It's their way of avoiding you, not wanting to admit that they haven't finished the task. According to Stoics, honesty is strength. When you are unclear and vague, you not only make others feel distrustful, but you also create a veil over the truth. Vagueness is an easy path to hiding the truth without having to face difficult questions. If you truly respect transparency and truth in relationships, ask for clarity. Don't let vague answers obscure the exact information you need to know. 6. Defensive without cause. When you ask a simple question, like "Did you do this?" and the other person immediately responds with a strong defensive attitude, it could be a clear sign that they are hiding something. Defensiveness without cause, they not only respond excessively, also begin justifying their actions without being asked to explain. This isn't reasonable self-defense, but a way to avoid the truth. Stoic philosophy encourages us not to let emotions drive our actions and to remain calm, even when facing difficult questions. When someone reacts defensively without a valid reason, it is a sign of insecurity or an attempt to hide something. If they truly have nothing to hide, they will calmly and directly answer without feeling the need to overprotect themselves. Once, I asked a colleague about the progress of a task he was handling. I simply asked, "How's your work going?" The question was completely non-invasive, yet he immediately became defensive, saying, "I've been working really hard. I don't need anyone to micromanage me." This defensive reaction made me realize that he might be trying to cover something up. When people feel guilty or fear being discovered, they become defensive, sometimes even aggressive, to push your suspicions away. According to Stoic thought, calmness is key. Those who are truly honest don't need to be excessively defensive. They understand that the truth will always find its way, and they don't need to overprotect themselves. People who react defensively are often those who fear being exposed. So when you encounter such reactions, don't overlook them. Pay close attention and dig deeper. Defensiveness without cause is a clear sign of fear and insecurity. People only become defensive when they have something to hide. Instead of letting their defense dominate, be patient and ask for more clarity from them. If they truly have nothing to hide, they won't react so excessively. 7. Body language turning away. When someone begins to turn away, avoid eye contact, or sits with their body facing away from you during a conversation, it's a sign not only of discomfort, but also a big red flag that they may be hiding something. Body language is not just unconscious reactions. It is a window reflecting their true emotions. And when they intentionally create physical distance, you need to pay attention. Stoic philosophy encourages us to view the world through the lens of mindfulness and understanding. The human body cannot completely hide true emotions, especially when we feel insecure or anxious about a situation. If someone is trying to avoid you by turning away, changing their posture noticeably, or even creating physical space, it's their way of avoiding contact with the truth or not wanting to be seen too closely. They are protecting themselves from being exposed. When you ask a serious question and the other person begins to show signs like leaning away, clenching their fists, or looking elsewhere, it's a sign of defensiveness. We may not notice, but the body reacts much faster than words. If they feel uncomfortable or anxious about the truth, body language will reveal it before they have time to respond verbally. According to Stoic thought, self-control is key to maintaining calmness in any situation. When you feel afraid or unwilling to face the truth, your body will send these signals unconsciously. It is difficult to fake and completely control the body, and that's why body language is an incredibly useful tool in detecting the truth. Every sign you've just discovered is not simply a coincidence, but rather invisible signals that others cannot hide forever. We can all learn to recognize these signs to protect ourselves from lies, whether big or small. But not everyone is ready to face the truth, and you, with the lessons from Stoic philosophy, can be the one to help them see the light in the darkness. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends so everyone can be aware of these signs, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll always remain clear-sighted and aware in every relationship, ready to face the truth, no matter how difficult it may be.